What is up, comic fans? Welcome to the channel. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be looking at part 3 of my graded comic collection. So I'm going to be going through some slabs, showing you what they are, talking about their value and how I came across owning them, as well as telling you how to enter to win this slab in this video series giveaway. So don't go anywhere. Check this out. Huge shout out to the homies over at Big Time Collectibles. Be sure to check out their website or follow them on social media. They are always doing amazing things. They currently have the foil logo kind of cover series going on over there, doing a really cool stuff. So definitely follow them so you don't miss out. So if you are interested, I'll be giving away this Catwoman issue number 47 Nathan Zerdy variant during this video series. So be sure to stick around to the end of the video to see how to enter to win that. All right, so let's get into it. If you've watched these in the past, you know what time it is. If not, I'm going to be showing slabs off and talking about why I got them and their value. So we're just going to kick it off. First off, we have the same book done 3 separate times. And this is none other than Justice League issue number 59. When this came out, I was massively excited. I got every cover for it because I'm a huge fan of what it is. And this is the variant that they did, kind of like whenever a movie or show comes out, you get a themed variant on the covers and stuff. And they did them all on one single issue instead of spreading them across numerous titles for this one. And it's for Zack Snyder's Justice League when it was releasing on HBO Max. And this is the Jim Lee version in a CGC 9.8. Now, none of these are like value buys for me. They were all just cover buys. I absolutely love Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm a huge Snyder fan. And this cover was fantastic, and it was kind of special too because it featured Martian Manhunter for the first time. These covers came out before the film did, not by much, but this was the first time that we saw John Jones there, or as some call him, John Johns. First time we saw him before the film. There was massive moment. It was awesome seeing him. But these, like I said, I scored them for a steal. I bought them already graded off of eBay. I got all 3 of them, and that one's valued at $31. And then the next one, same story, same everything. This is the Lee Bermejo variant of the same book featuring Darkseid, Superman in the black suit and the return suit, as well as the Flash. Lee Bermejo, as always, crushes it. Look at the level of detail and realism that he gets on stuff. I'm a big fan of that guy. And then the last one is probably my favorite one because for me, one of the biggest draws of the movie wasn't just getting Darkseid in it or black suit Superman, but it was getting Steppenwolf proper, getting him in the way that he was shown in the Batman vs Superman Ultimate cut where we saw him at the end of that. And Liam Sharp, as always, knocked it out of the park with his variant featuring Steppenwolf with the crazy spikes and designs. You got Batman, and then you got Ray Fisher's Cyborg, who is a massive part of that Snyder cut version of the film. Just fantastic covers. I wish the phone or computer did them justice, but in person, man, there's just so much more detail and color and lighting on this thing. It's great. So the Lee Bermejo one has the same value as the Jim Lee one at $31, and the Liam Sharp one, they're showing a value at $27. And if you are wondering where I'm getting these values from, I'm taking this opportunity and time to kind of take advantage of some of the tools that we have available to us as comic book collectors. And I'm trying to use the resource called Cover Price. And one thing I'm learning from using it is that these prices are all over the place on that website. Like it's not if a 9.8 is this, then 6 is that, and 4 is that. No, they can be all over the place. It's weird. So some of these books don't even show up over there, so I have to source other sites. I did go to eBay when I can't find them on Go Collect or Cover Price, but we'll just see where it takes us, and I'll talk about it as we hit those hurdles. But next up, keeping with the theme of that last one, this book's from 1972 with cover, art, and story by Jack Kirby. Massive DC Kirby fan here. And this is in one of the older CBCS cases with the older label. This is New Gods issue number 7, the first appearance of Steppenwolf. So as you saw from that last cover and the design from the Snyder cut, he looks nothing like he did back then because, yes, that is in fact him right there in his first and original design. This is my second copy of this. I have a raw one in my New Gods run, but I absolutely needed this thing slabbed up to kind of keep with my Kirby first. It's not an issue 1 of New Gods. We've already featured that in a previous episode of this series, but it's the first appearance of Steppenwolf, which is a massive character if you ask me. The back of this one Has a really cool ad for whatever that is. Looks like a little remote control car of a sort. But this has an extra Manhunter backup story in it, which backup stories are not new to comics like they're doing now, but they've been around for a while. This book, and shockingly, I had to go search elsewhere for the value on that because Cover Price did not have it listed. I think it was because in a 5.0 one hasn't sold for a long time because it's a massively slept on key. The estimated value on that one is roughly $40. You can get the first appearance of Separable from 1972 and about $40 in a slab. So it's pretty wild. Next up, this one's near and dear to my heart, very special to me. This is the Amazing Spider-Man 798 from 2018 with a gorgeous Alex Ross cover and CGC 9.6. Now, I bought this one because my good buddy Brian, a new guy who got family stuff going on and has a new kid and all that, but he's one of my older buds here on YouTube. He'll hang out on my live stream on Sunday nights. He was getting rid of some of his books that he has acquired over time, and he set up his own website, put them on there. So I went and made this first purchase to make sure everything was going smoothly and all that, and this is what I got off of it. So I was Ryan's first website customer and everything, and it is a gorgeous cover. Alex Ross is the man. I like Spider-Man. You know, who doesn't like Spider-Man? I definitely don't read his new comics, though. Definitely don't. And the estimated value on that one is roughly $22 because it's really just the price of grading. And then everything's really down right now. Looking at some of these values is just like, wow, really? It is not the time to sell. Definitely not. Next up, this one doesn't show up anywhere on any sites. It's a retailer exclusive from 2019. It's one that I tracked down. I bought already signed and graded. It was from a website called Black Cape Comics. I don't even know if they're still in business anymore or what. I find a lot of these online retailers because I follow a specific artist named John Jang, and I don't frequent their shops beyond just getting his exclusives and stuff because I have my resources. I stick with what I know. So this is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TMNT issue number 1 from volume 1 of their crossover series under Boom Studios, signed by the man himself. Absolutely love this cover. His style for Turtles and Rangers is just second to none. I like seeing Donnie, Leo, and Mikey there looking up at the Dragon Zord, but Raph is already flying through the air to take the fight to it. This is a gorgeous book, like super gorgeous cover. Sorry about the glare. I'll find. There it is. That's the spot. But yeah, that is a gorgeous book and a CGC 9.8. So without any kind of sales data, all I can look at is like there's one raw one listed for $50 plus the price of SIG, fees to get it graded and everything. It probably, in my opinion, I would say put it at 125, 150. I don't know, around there-ish. So now we get into something that's a little more straightforward here, easy to find. Now this book should be in any DC fans collection. This is something that if you don't have, you should definitely work toward. And it was surprisingly not cheap as I thought it would end up being with how everything else is going. This is from 1970. It's a Neil Adams cover. Interiors and stories done by the legend himself, Jack the King Kirby. And this is issue number 134 of Superman Pals Jimmy Olsen. Now, a lot of people go to Forever People issue number 1 for the first appearance of Darkseid, but that is, in fact, not his first appearance. It's one of those weird hairs that they split, like Hulk 180, 181. This is the first time Darkseid is ever seen in comics. He is talking to his minions back on Earth. Morgan Edge and kind of Superman's off trying to get Jimmy from the Wild Gang, Wild Bunch, whatever, in the woods. And Morgan Edge is sitting there like scheming. And it turns out that Darkseid is the big reveal in this, that he's the one behind Morgan Edge and everything. But this is a massive key for DC fans, despite its value or price that it costs to pick it up. This is major. The DC was changed as a whole forevermore because of the introduction to Darkseid. Probably Jack Kirby's most well-known character at DC, or at least most impactful. And then this one right here is in a, what is this, a CBCS 7.0. So this one is current value is $274. So that's a lot higher than I expected, especially in a 7.0. This has off-white to white pages. I intentionally went online and shopped this one in a CBCS because they tend to have a cheaper value associated with them when people are reselling them. A lot of people don't want to sit and wait to get get a certain price, so they mark them down a little bit in CBCS, and that is in the older case. So could always send it to get clean press into CGC and get it reholdered one day, but probably never will. I'm cool with any grading company, really. I'm after the book that's inside of it for the most part. That leads us to the very first PGX that's about to appear on the channel right now. This is from 2018. It's Justice League issue number 7 with Scott Snyder's run on it. This is a signed by Jim Lee copy with the Superman variant cover. I purchased this one from my good buddy Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics. He was doing a live sale with somebody some time ago, and he had a box of slabs. He was like doing blind pulls with slabs, and I supporting the homie and ended up coming out with a huge win in the end. It's gorgeous Jim Lee cover, signed right slap dab in the middle. I would be lying if I said this is my only Jim Lee signature, but it's my only Jim Lee signature on a PGX Superman book. So that's gorgeous, and the slabs are decent. I like them. There's the back of their slabs. They don't have any barcodes or anything like that. The labels are organized. They're nice looking. So yeah, this is pretty solid. It doesn't tell you what date it was signed or what, but I don't know. I don't know if they have any verification process or if it's all just witness. And that one, again, I didn't find any recent sales on, but I did see that there was one listed for a 194 asking price. Hey, little buddy. So now we're getting into a little bit of offbeat stuff. I did do a video spotlighting the whole story behind Watchmen and where they came from and why that story came to be. And it all went back to Charlton Comics that was eventually bought out and owned by DC Comics. And this is Captain Atom issue number 82 from 1966 in a CGC 6.0. For those that know, that's Captain Atom that's now currently in DC Comics. He's all silver and everything, but he's also Dr. Manhattan. It's not the same person in the same universe. Alan Moore attempted to use these Charlton characters to create the Watchmen story, and DC said, no, we have plans for those characters, so we just reimagined them. Instead of doing Captain Atom, he called him Dr. Manhattan and colored him blue, took his pants off, walked around with his junk hanging out. Silk Spectre, who was in the Watchmen, this is actually the first appearance of her in Charlton. Before she was Silk Spectre, she was called Nightshade, and this is first appearance of Nightshade and Ghost. Now, if you watch the Peacemaker series, Peacemaker was a Charlton character as well. He became the comedian in Watchmen, but also Judo Master that was in the Peacemaker series makes his second appearance, or second page Judo Master instruction is in here. So there's like a little Judo Master instruction manual inside of this book as well. So Judo Master is a Charlton character as well. A lot of great characters came from Charlton and are now folded over into DC Comics. Gorgeous book. I picked this one up, I believe I picked this one up from Man Cave Comics during the C3 event last year, the Comics Curing Cancer auction that we put on. And this one did not have any data on it I could find anywhere. I don't have full access to Go Collect, so I get limited data over there. And cover price, it didn't have it sold or anything, but a raw book in the comparable grade goes for $77. This book in a CGC 8.0 goes for $194. So if you can find one of these, especially in a decent price, pick it up. This is massive comic book history right here. And if you just know 10 people, you can make it last $50. I don't even know what that means. What's up, big dude? And next up, Finn, this is what we have. This is going back to 1975, another Kirby first over at DC Comics. Cover art and story by Jack Kirby. It's the first appearance of Manhunter, who was just mentioned with that backup story in the New Gods book, but it's Mark Shaw's Manhunter. Manhunter goes back to, I think, Strange Adventures in the Golden Age, and this is when he was brought into the Silver Age with a kind of updated, modern take at the time, where Jack Kirby turns him in to Mark Shaw's Manhunter. Really cool character. If you want to get some experience on the character, DC's putting out a fantastic series right now called Danger Street that features all these characters from first issue special. This is in a CBCS old case, old label 9.0, and that puts that one at $44. $44 for a 9.0, even though an 8.5 is $50. See, that's the whole inconsistency with the prices. One that's in a lower grade has a higher value. They don't do any kind of like averaging and data extrapolation. They just say the last sold was this, that's what it is. So there's not necessarily with cover price telling you what something's worth versus what it most recently sold for, kind of thing. It's interesting. I'm still getting the hang of it. I think by the end of doing this series, they'll have a lot more accurate whatever on it. And here's one that's just, who knows? This was a gift from my good friend Chris the Comic Vet. He sent it in a pack where he sent my pop something and me something. And this is DC versus Vampires issue number 1. This is a Comic Kingdom of Canada Felipe Masafera variant. Felipe Masafera does a lot of covers for Big Time Collectibles as well. And it's an homage to the first appearance of Harley Quinn in Batman Adventures. And it's priced all over the place. With these retailer exclusives, gorgeous book, CGC 9.8, but with these retailer exclusives, there's not really like a data hub for them. If you go check cover price and go collect, they're really just featuring on the direct market covers. So this one I took to eBay to check last sold. So in April 27th, it sold for $69.95. In June 5th, it sold for $295.95. The raws are going for the standard like $15, $25 kind of thing. So I don't know what's up with the value on this one, but it goes to show you need to be careful when you're checking last sold prices on eBay, because from $70 to $300 seems like something fishy is in the air. So it's almost like someone was trying to thunder pump the value up or something. You know, I obviously can't confirm that, but why anybody would pay $300 for a book that previously sold for $70 and you can purchase raw for like $30 kind of thing doesn't make a lot of sense. So be wary when you're checking those last sold prices, and don't just look at the last one sold, because again, this book's been out for a little bit, so it wasn't like there's a string of last sold, and there weren't, but those two in the CGC 9.8 were even graded at all. So definitely pay attention when you're doing your little price checking and get a few different prices. Don't just do one and done. So next up, in the last one for today, this one is definitely near and dear to my heart right here. It's from 1980. DC Comics presents issue number 26. This is the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. This is a massive book for DC history, for DC fans, for, you know, it's just a huge book. And I don't submit a lot of stuff. I have a CGC membership. I always at least do 1 or 2 submissions a year. You know, I use the credit and everything. But then when George Perez's health was going downhill, George himself wanted to do like a last little round of try do signings and see some of his fans and do stuff for the fans, because he always showed how much he appreciated and loved us nerds that are into this stuff. And CGC had an in-house signing scheduled, but unfortunately he got a little too poor in health to be able to make it. But they did a custom George Perez label where anybody that bought that custom label, 100% of the proceeds from that label would go to the George Perez estate. And I sent in books. I sent in books that were close to me that I loved, that meant a lot to me. And the Teen Titans is one of those things. And so it wasn't like a grade as an issue kind of thing. I did send it to my cleaner and presser, who is none other than the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, JustinComicx. Link is in the description. Let him know you found him via the channel. And it came back. And this was my copy. This was not like I was not shooting for high grades. I grabbed 3 books. So there'll be more books with the same story in this video series, but I just grabbed them and sent them. I didn't try to hit value. I just hit stuff that meant the most to me, that were relevant to George. And there's a few things more relevant than Marv Wolfman and George Perez's run on the Teen Titans. And it all started right here in DC Comics Presents 26. Now, if you look right here, that little image is a little insert booklet inside the pages of this. So inside of DC Comics Presents proper, they don't appear. If it's like in the centerfold, you open it, there's like a little book where you have 16 pages of just their own story. And what the big deal is, this is not just the team's first appearance, but it's like the first appearance of Raven, Cyborg, Starfire. So you have massive character appearances in here. And in a 7.0 off-white to white pages in the newsstand version, because there is a version with like the DC Comics logo bullet there and some writing. But this is $123, so ridiculously affordable, mega key. So that's the last one for today. It kind of hits in the feels to wrap it up on that. So that's it for the slabs that I'm showing. So as far as the giveaway goes, if you want to be entered to win this thing, be sure to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite slabs in today's videos was, and make sure you add the hashtag #WeAreLegion to your comment, because when the video series is over, I'm going to spin a wheel and see which one of these videos I will pull a comment from. So this is part 3. So if you missed part 1 and 2, go back and check it out, and be sure to leave a comment over there with the hashtag. And then after the video series wraps up, when I do the live show at Weeks End, I'll do the drawing live right there, and we'll give this bad boy away. So I appreciate everyone watching. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.